We're also talking about the right to work vote that happened in Michigan just yesterday. Michigan. What had been probably the strongest union state in that industrialized Midwest, Michigan now, moving toward right to work. And these thugs, these union thugs, with their signs and their chants and their drums, storm into the Capitol building, trying to disrupt the people's business, trying to disrupt people's lives, trying to intimidate, because that's all they do. That's how they don't argue positions. They don't use logic. They don't try to win people's minds and hearts and souls. They don't try to actually win the argument. They try to shut you up. They try to drown you out. They try to shout you down. That's all they got. Betty in New Mexico. Betty. I'm Larry O'Connor. You're on the Savage Nation. Thanks for calling.
Detroit, I grew up there. We were immigrants from Europe in 1951, and the agency that helped bring us over sent us because there was a job available in Detroit. So I grew up in the 50s. It was pretty nice still. It wasn't until the riots in 67 that it really fell apart. And right after that, Coleman Young became the mayor and basically came out and said, and I'm quoting, "If you don't like it, Whitey, you can hit 8 Mile Road," which was the border. And I lived there through the 70s and 80s. I was a printer. Counts was Volkswagen of North America, and the company itself did work for all of the car companies. And I remember in the early 80s, I was doing some printing for an advertising agency in California, and they were the advertisers for all of the Japanese auto companies, and they were doing tons and tons of printing. And the guys in Detroit, the auto company guys, it was like, oh, those stupid little foreign cars, who's going to buy that? See what happened? That was the mentality, right. And it just got worse, and I finally moved away 15 years ago. I'm in Albuquerque, thank God.
Yeah, Betty, you're so right. I remember it so well. I remember the arrogance. I remember the hubris. Betty, it's exactly what happened. The union bosses and the auto manufacturers, they got together. This is before the Japanese imports came in. They got together and they said, hey, we own this country. They're all buying our cars. Ford, GM, Chrysler, even AMC. Sure, we'll pay you these wages. Sure, we'll give you these pensions. Sure, we'll give you all these things. Sure, we'll make the work rules like that. Absolutely. Because we can charge whatever we want. And that's what they did. Until there was competition. And the unions now won't budge.